the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Mothers and daughters have one of life's most special bonds. Along with the trying times can be some of the most wonderful times. Welcome to Communicating from the Heart, the Empowered Mother-Daughter Relationship. Your hosts are Elizabeth Lutz, Danielle Schonecker, and Melissa Schonecker. In the next hour, we will share some great tools with our listeners designed to help mothers and daughters grow into the honesty and openness of whom you truly are. Now, here's Elizabeth, Melissa, and Danielle.
Hello, and welcome to Communicating from the Heart, the Empowered Mother-Daughter Relationship. I'm your co-host, Elizabeth Lutz, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, who, again, are my daughters, Danielle and Melissa.
Hey, nice to see you this week. We're so happy to have you here again, and we so appreciate all the feedback you've given us so far at our first 5 episodes.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And we also have 2 guests this show, and we're very excited to talk with them and to be here with you.
Yes, and the topic we're going to be working on this week is we're going to have a discussion about a topic that can often be kind of challenging for mothers and daughters, and that is claiming your own power.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a big one, trying to determine, where my strengths are and what I can do in the face of such a powerful, accomplished mother.
Yeah, and I think that my biggest learning in this is that it's actually claiming my own power. Like, it's within me. I have it. No one else has it. It's nobody out there. It's all within me. I think that's the biggest learning. It is my power. It's not yours. No offense, Mom.
No, you can't take it.
It's not yours. It's mine. But really realizing that.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I was also thinking about competition, because as you know, as being my sister, we can get kind of competitive, but it doesn't we don't have to look at it as competition. Like, Mom, you have your own power and I have my own power, and they don't necessarily, we're not in competition there's not a set amount of power and we're fighting over it. There's an infinite amounts of power.
Yeah. Right, and there's no use in competing when I win all the time.
In her mind,
I'm
nod
sure
at
that, because I have no response. Yeah.
So, well, let's talk a little bit about our guests for tonight's show. They are mother and daughter, quite ironic, I guess not ironically.
Isn't that why they're our guests?
Yeah, that's one part of the reason why, yeah. And they both happened to be finalists in the Hawaii Businesswoman of the Year at the same time. They were in different categories, but they were both the finalists this last year. And Melissa, can you share a little bit more about Mariah?
Sure. Mariah Brown. She lives in Hawaii currently. I know you kind of said that. She was nominated for Hawaii's Businesswoman of the Year, and she won in the for-profit category. Lots of accomplishments, lots of awards. She's co-owner of 2 highly successful award-winning duck kitchen restaurants on Maui, which I will be visiting soon, hopefully. The food and service there has been heralded as the best in the islands from TV shows, newspapers, magazines. And she also won Small Business Person of the Year for Maui in 2011.
Great.
That's a mouthful.
That is, yeah. That's
woohoo.
I'm feeling a little intimidated. And Aurora Juliana Ariel, PhD, was one of the 7 finalists for the PBN Hawaii Businesswoman of the Year. She has had over 40 years of pioneering work and dedicated service in neuroscience, psychology, health, and is a host of advanced protocols, rehabilitation models, courses, and products that are now in place. Her work has changed the lives of abused women, addicts, youth at risk, individuals with PTSD and trauma. So also a mouthful and also
yes, we're so excited
Yes.
to talk with her.
I feel also it's important to note that Aurora is the mother in this case and Mariah is the daughter.
Oh, yes. Thank you for pointing that out.
Because they're both so accomplished.
Yes. And as you hear, both our guests are very successful and accomplished women. And during our show, we're going to be discussing with our guests like the intricacies of the mother-daughter relationship and what can come forward when one or both are very successful. We're going to ask a number of questions to let our listeners get to know them better, and we invite you, our listeners, to join in on the discussion. Send us an email. Our email address is info@heartcenteredlistening.com. That's info@heartcenteredlistening.com. So Mariah Brown is joining us from Hawaii. Hello, Mariah. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Kind of jealous of the weather.
I was going to say, it's raining here. What's it like there?
It's horribly beautiful and sunny and magnificent.
Do you have a
Hawaii's always great.
Great.
And Aurora Ariel is joining us from Mexico, also an extremely nice place right now. Hi, Aurora. How are you doing?
Hey, aloha, girls. So happy to be with you.
Yes, we're so happy to have you. So,
it's raining here just to make you feel a little better. But, of course, I'm not very many hours from you, so just down in Baja.
Oh, okay. Nice to know the rain is reaching all the way down there. We've all needed it.
Miserable.
I know, it's so great to see California getting the rain.
yes, we needed it. So are you guys ready for some of our questions?
Yeah.
Did you want us to go into our questions right away, or is there anything that you two wanted to just share about the topic, claiming your own power?
Well, one thing I was feeling inspired to share, it's not really under claiming your power. It's more, to put us in perspective. When you read all this stuff, it looks so glamorous and so much accomplishment. But in our normal lives, we're just really simple. In Hawaii, you have a relaxed lifestyle and we're working. But then, you're in your pareo on the beach in your sarong, and I think in Hawaii, there's like a relaxed feeling, so you can accomplish great things, but be a simple person inside and be valued for yourself. So I want to put that into the mix as well. Just that simplicity, that inner simplicity, and watching my daughter attain so much and retaining that inner beauty, that beautiful loveliness, and caring about others, that's been really so important. That just has meant so much to me, to see her accomplished yet grounded and retaining who she really is, and then giving that out to so many.
Yes, I really hear that. Aurora. And you have that same, I wouldn't say, for lack of a better word, that laid backness, but you're also go. I mean, you're constantly on the go. And so it's like, I don't know how you marry the two, but you do it very well.
Thank you. Maybe Hawaii for 26 years helped. I don't know. The aloha spirit and just being in beauty all the time and people in their hearts and people that just love you for who you are, and it helps. It helps to have that grounding. And then also, I think too, sometimes accomplishments can go with big egos. And I think having 4 kids that are very truthful and always call you on whatever is very helpful, so you don't get a big head about anything.
Yeah. And Mariah, how do you do it? How do you not get a big head about, with all of your accomplishments?
I definitely don't have a big head. Every day I'm just struggling to make it through the day, accomplish everything, fix everything. My restaurants are really busy. I employ a lot of people, so I don't even think that we sit back and take the time to even realize that we have accomplishments. I listen to you say them on the radio and I'm going, oh yeah, that's right, I did do that. Like, that sounds wonderful. But I think that a lot of times we don't take personal gratification for the things that we have accomplished. We're just, busy trying to make other things happen, fix things, work on things. I mean, obviously both of us run businesses and we're in charge of a lot of people. So I think we should probably take more time to be like, wow, but, look what I've accomplished and look what I've done. And so I think even the awards are good at, kind of trying to remind you, hey.
Yeah. Well, we can take the time now to just, hold in all of your accomplishments and the joy and just enjoy it.
Yeah, and if there's anything
it's kind of fun to hear it all. It is like what Mariah's saying. It comes back to your mind. You go, oh, yeah. And it was such a profound experience, too, that night when we were in the event. I didn't realize when I became a finalist, and she did, because we were on Maui, and the whole event was going to be a month later on Oahu. I didn't really realize what it was. And Mariah kept saying, it's a big thing. And so it wasn't until we arrived at this palatial hotel overlooking the ocean in Waikiki, and we're in this big gala with, tables to seat 550 people, and everyone's getting leis, which is so awesome in Hawaii because every special event you get leis, and we had beautiful leis we had given each other and that we were receiving, and so we had tons of them on us. And we get taken to our table, and we're sitting there, and of course it's going to be a beautiful dinner and the whole night of events and the awards. And I started crying when I stepped into that site. And it impacted me like, oh my gosh, this is so huge. And all that whole week before, I'd been just so excited I just what are the odds to have this experience with my daughter? I mean, I was so high from it. I didn't even care what happened around winning or even going there. I was just so excited that something this strange and wonderful would have happened with my daughter and I being honored together. And then when they were calling me up, and I had to wade through all these people, and Mariah came with me, she's kind of leading me to where I then finally was going up the steps to receive my award. And I want to say they made a beautiful award, these cut crystal, big, round, gorgeously done awards. And as she's saying all the accomplishments, it just really impacted me because I've been working quietly on all this my whole adult life, and without any fanfare, and most people not even knowing what I'm doing, and these most impossible cases always coming to me, and I'm like a Houdini help people extricate them from these life sentences of suffering and get back into the life they're meant for. And it was just huge for me. I could have just died.
And it sounds great that you got to share that experience with your daughter.
It was just so
amazing.
momentous. And when Mariah went up, I was just holding her hand before she went up on the stairs and waving through the people again. I was just crying and crying. It was just so awesome.
Well, let's have Mariah share her experience when we come back. We're going to go right to break. And when we come back, audience, you're going to get to hear a little bit more about Mariah and Aurora, and we're also going to ask some more in-depth questions centered around claiming your own power. We'll be right back.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
At Heart-Centered Listening, we are committed to providing high-quality coaching, empowering you to reach a healthier and more fulfilling mother-daughter relationship. We have a consistent flow of coaching clients who sincerely want to heal and move toward a healthy, loving, and fulfilling mother and daughter relationship. We welcome you to share in the joys, sorrows, and experiences of one family's growth and learning. We support others in growing into love and support of oneself so that you can show up in the loving way that you would like in your relationships with others. Get answers to the questions you've always wanted to ask. We promise to show up each day in our authenticity and always be honest in our responses. You can call Heart-Centered Listening at 310-301-1850 Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Or visit our website at heartcenteredlistening.com. Mother-daughter relationship coaching with Elizabeth Lutz. Isn't it time to open the door to your new relationship? heartcenteredlistening.com. Support, healing, transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are listening to Communicating from the Heart. We'd love to hear from you with any questions or comments you might have. Please send us an email to info@heartcenteredlistening.com. That's info@heartcenteredlistening.com. Now back to Communicating from the Heart, the empowered mother-daughter relationship.
Welcome back to Communicating from the Heart. I'm your co-host Melissa. I'm joined by my sister Danielle and mom Elizabeth. And before the break, we were discussing the topic for the week, which is claiming your own power. And we're joined by two guests, Aurora Ariel and Mariah Brown. And they're a mother and daughter, and they both were nominated for an award on the same night. Two different variations of the award, but very accomplished at the same time. And Aurora was just sharing kind of her experience with being nominated along with her daughter. And we wanted to know, Mariah, did you have anything to add to that?
I mean, it was just an amazing experience for both of us. I mean, when does that ever even happen? I don't even know if that happens. If your mother and you get nominated for the same award and then you win them. Mine was in for-profit and my mom's was in for nonprofit. So they're different categories, but they're the same award. So it was, it's really exciting. And then, you get to feel really proud. And the crowd, everybody at the event was very excited. And it's a big thing. It's Pacific Business News Businesswoman of the Year. And there's probably, I think in my category, there's 88.
Oh, wow.
Nominations. And then I think they gave 20-something finalists. And then I think in my mom's category, I think there was about the same, maybe 100 nominations. So to even be a finalist and then to even win is kind of like a big deal.
Yes,
so,
congratulations again.
Absolutely.
So what was it like for you then, Mariah, to win and then to not have your mom win? Was there anything... were you able to celebrate yourself as well, or was there any sort of, anything about, oh, I won, but my mom didn't, maybe I shouldn't be celebrating in front of her since we're both here, or was there anything like that? Or?
No, it's not even like that. We're a finalist, so you win anyway.
Oh, yeah.
There's 80-something people that didn't even get picked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we actually got picked, so, you're just, in that self-accomplishment right there, and then to share it with my mom is even more exciting. And then, I don't know, the expectations and obligations to people, what you think are, when you become businesswoman of the year, you're like, oh no, what am I supposed to be doing? That means people are watching me and looking up to me. I have to be better.
Yes.
So it's good that I got that mom because she's having the same experience that, oh no, all of a sudden, I should be working harder. I should be inspiring more people. It actually kind of puts a little pressure on you to be even better, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Do either of you think it would have been different if you were up
for us to be gifted that was a miracle. And I was done with my Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii a little bit in the winters now, and I was done with my visit to Mariah and about to go home when we found out. So it was really an unexpected that kept me there another month, and it was one of the most precious experiences of my life.
I could imagine. Do either of you think it would have been different if you were up for an award in the same category?
No. Like Mariah said, we both were finalists, so we won. We won all that, and all the finalists were put in this big spread, pages and pages of business news, Pacific business news, and we're heralded as, these leaders, these women leaders in the community. And what's so cool about the award is they're focusing on women and their achievements, but to win it, you have to have heart, you have to have humanity, you have to be a good person. It's not all money and how much you make and what you do. And Mariah, I believe, there's a facet of what Mariah's doing there, that she's not just a business owner. She actually mentors these girls, and I've watched it for years, and so I kind of coined the phrase, Mariah's got it's a finishing school for girls down over there, and they think they're coming to be a server in her restaurant, but I just watched them transform these girls, and Mariah puts a lot into that, and so that has been brought out and I showcased her, and I think that's one of the winning things about her and why she's won now twice on Maui Small Business Woman of the Year. She's won 41 under 40, the 41 top business people in Hawaii under 40 years old, and then she won this. So I think, that's one of the really great things about this award and how it felt. And Mariah and I don't really have any competition. I've never been aware of any of that kind of thing, so we certainly didn't feel it that night.
Yes. And speaking about Mariah, I have a question from you, because from what I've read, you seem to go above and beyond with training the servers in your restaurants, and many of them are single mothers. And what made you take such an involved approach, and what have you found to be the biggest challenge for women as they grow under your tutelage?
Honestly, I employ a lot of young people. I'm in charge of mostly the female portion, which, tends to be like the front of the house. And a lot of them come to me, this is like their first job. And they're learning everything kind of about life. It's kind of like school, right? So you learn I got to come to work on time. I got to do a good job. I have to be accountable. And then I'm going to get paid for it, right? But they still come with that young mindset of, when you're 18 or you're 15 or 16 and you're in high school and you're like, hey, this is like fun and woohoo, and I want my own money so I can buy clothes and a car. And then they come and then all of a sudden they have to be responsible. So the challenge for me is to inspire them to be like, this is a job. You can have fun with it, but you still have to learn all the aspects of what it's like to be employed, and there's customers and accountability and all these different things. And, I like the young girls because I can mentor them. I feel like they listen to me more than they listen to their parents or their sisters or their brothers, right? Because I'm an outside person in their life. At the same time, I'm paying them, so that probably helps, right?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, she's going to pay me, so we should probably listen.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's really challenging, right? They've yet to experience this part of life. And you're not really prepared to start your first job until you start your first job. And then you're like, oh, wow. So, but, I like it. I enjoy it. It's definitely tedious. So I'm a mom, I'm a supporter, I'm a sister, their first boyfriends and crying and tears. And you got to go through all of that with them, right?
Yes.
So were there any experiences that you had with your mother or anything that you learned from having your mother as growing up that you've taken and put forward with these girls?
I have an amazing mother. She is very inspiring, and she's also very nice. And she's just a really good person, and she's very loving. And, I kind of I can see that I'm like that with my girls, with my staff, because my mom is very complimenting, and she's always like, you're doing a good job, and, you can be anything. She's that kind of mom, right? So while I'm scolding them, sometimes I have to be like, you're doing such a good job, and you're such an amazing person. We could just be better. So I see my,
that's so awesome.
Right?
I can...
In that part, that loving, and you know, like, you have to be supportive of them. You know, these youngsters, they go through a lot, and I'm sure you guys can look back and remember when you're 16 and you have your first boyfriend, and, you know what I mean, you want to run away from home. Like, you just go through all of these emotions.
Yeah.
And so I kind of look back and be like, oh, my poor mom, when I was going through all my emotions and all my...
Yeah.
Hey, redemption.
Like, yay, get me away from it. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it when our kids grow up and then they start appreciating, 'cause now they're, you know, they're in it. They're in the thick of it.
Yeah. So my question to you, Aurora, is how did you nurture your daughter's own path without holding expectations?
Well, I hope I did that. I mean, I love her so much, and she was the most precious child I'd ever seen. And of course, she's my first, my eldest of 4, and the other 3 are boys. And this little girl was so amazing and precocious, and just seemed to have such a real strong spirit. And so I've just adored her. I've loved her, and I had really no expectations for her. It's like I just love who she is, and then whatever she wants to do or whatever direction she goes in, I'm there to applaud her and be excited with her, and I'm always in awe of her. She's a very self-actualizing woman. And so, yeah, I think that's more the truth of it. I just see her. I see her strengths and beauty, and I totally believe in her. And I'm continually in awe of my daughter.
Well, it's really apparent how much love and respect and admiration you have for each other. And I can only imagine that actually does help both of you continue to go towards your goals. Is that what you experience?
Well, one thing that has come through really strongly over and over again is Mariah's actually my favorite woman on the planet. I've told her that before, but she's my favorite female person. I like her best. It's really, I just have a lot of admiration and respect for her spirit, for who she is, you know, and so I admire her the most. And I have lots of amazing women, great friends on the planet, but Mariah's my fave.
I can appreciate that.
Yes, me too.
Mariah,
I have
what
a
do you
couple
think?
faves here too.
Mariah, what do you think about that?
I think my mom is more prouder of my accomplishments than I am.
I think that's part of the
moms
rules.
always are, aren't we? We're just so excited over everything.
It's like that empowering, like we empower each other, right? So come to each other with like, this is my issue, this is my problem, like help me. And then, you know, we know how each other thinks, we understand our thought processes, and so it's really good and easy to give good advice.
Yes.
And so because my mom is very spiritual and very loving, and she's a counselor, she always has really good advice for me. So I can always like just take that in, and you know, sometimes you don't want to share that kind of stuff with everybody, and you want it to be in a safe, trusting environment. And I think my mom has always been able to provide that for me.
It sounds like you guys not only have a great mother and daughter relationship, but a friendship as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's so fun when I'm home on Maui because it's like cruising with my best friend, and then it's like having a twin. We get a lot of positive feedback when we cruise together. You know, it's just really fun. Well, Mariah's a little star on Maui, so everybody knows her, and every chef and every restaurant. So it's especially fun to go with her to a restaurant because, you know, they just really love to have her. But it's just fun cruising with her and that kind of best friendship. And then we'll switch roles around. You know, sometimes Mariah's the mother role, or I'll be the mother role, or I'll be the wise woman, the wise elder role. You know, and it's fun to, you know, switch it up. And I love being the mother role, you know, when I do. But I think the truth of it has become that I am that role when she really needs me, when there is an issue, when there is something where she needs that support. And the other times we're just really close friends.
Oh. I think that's great. And I'm going to have you hold that thought really quick. We'll come back to talking about friendship because that's such an important aspect. I know that we all agree, to a successful mother-daughter relationship. But before we go, I'd like to invite everyone, the listeners, to join in our conversations, either by calling in or emailing us any questions, comments. Our email address, again, is info@heartcenteredlistening.com. This is Danielle, Elizabeth, and Melissa. We're with Mariah and Aurora, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with them.
Friend us on Facebook to keep up with what's empowering the world. Voice America Empowerment.
How do you achieve balance in your life? Is it when everything runs in perfect alignment with each other, time, money, and life? You can keep everything in nearly perfect balance. Listen for Be Mighty with K.D. Marley, which is made up of two people, K. Mar and D. Lee. The hosts have worked with small business owners to find the best and most systematic way of tracking both time and money in order to achieve work-life balance to their advantage. The show can help you, too. Listen Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
At Heart-Centered Listening, we are committed to providing high-quality coaching, empowering you to reach a healthier and more fulfilling mother-daughter relationship. We have a consistent flow of coaching clients who sincerely want to heal and move toward a healthy, loving, and fulfilling mother and daughter relationship. We welcome you to share in the joys, sorrows, and experiences of one family's growth and learning. We support others in growing into love and support of oneself, so that you can show up in the loving way that you would like in your relationships with others. Get answers to the questions you've always wanted to ask. We promise to show up each day in our authenticity and always be honest in our responses. You can call Heart-Centered Listening at 310-301-1850 Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific Time, or visit our website at heartcenteredlistening.com. Mother-daughter relationship coaching with Elizabeth Lutz. Isn't it time to open the door to your new relationship? heartcenteredlistening.com. Support, healing, transformation.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are listening to Communicating from the Heart. We'd love to hear from you with any questions or comments you might have. Please send us an email to info@heartcenteredlistening.com. That's info@heartcenteredlistening.com. Now back to Communicating from the Heart, the empowered mother-daughter relationship.
Welcome back to Communicating from the Heart, the empowered mother-daughter relationship. I'm Melissa, and I'm joined with my mother, Elizabeth, and my sister, Danielle, and we are also joined by two very special guests, Aurora and Mariah, a very successful and accomplished mother-daughter team, I would call them. They definitely sound like they're on the same team in what we've been talking with them about. And we just had a couple other questions for you.
Well, I have one for Aurora because Mariah brought this up that you were like a counselor too, and that you were very easy to talk to and things like that. And you do have your PhD. And my question is, how did you use your education to support, your relationship with your daughter?
Well, that's been my greatest happiness for her and my children and my close friends is the pioneering work that I've done in the psyche and the field of psychology and health, and that I found things that are very landmark and that can change our lives and change them fast and empower us and help us actualize our greater potential and live more, a higher destiny, let's say, than what our human programming would have allowed or dictated. It's just been so thrilling that when my children need me in that way, I drop everything. If they have an issue, I'm right there for them. And I've been really graced with kids that love the method I created, the quest and the sacred alchemy work and the soul remedy healings. In that part, they enjoy those sessions. And so I've been able to be like, I guess the only thing I can liken it to, because it's not done much in our modern society, but because my work's so cutting edge, where else to send them, and it's so fast and effective, what I developed, It's like the elders, I guess, in their community, and their, they train their sons and their daughters and the wise elder raise them up and train them and pass knowledge and give them tools. And I feel like that. I feel like that as the head of our family, and that I can play that role. And I love it when I do. I love it when I'm needed in that way. And I love that I have effective tools and can help, Mariah switch really fast and get her back to the next level. So it's been a hugely enriching aspect of my career and life that I could serve her and really be there for her at these key moments, and how I've made all the mistakes. I can bring wisdom around relationships and things like that I have something valuable to give her and to guide her and my other children.
That's great. And I guess I have a question for Mariah. Mariah, your mom did such wonderful work in the not-for-profit field, and you kind of took a different route going into restaurants. So how did your mom encourage your dreams?
In the restaurant business?
Just doing anything different.
Yes.
She's just very supportive. So, I know when we first started, she was in there, helping me make menus, and I had my brothers in there washing dishes, and, she would help me find a place to rent. She was just very supportive in my personal life as well as, the business perspective as well. So, just challenges with my staff and stuff. She's a great counselor, and so she's given me a lot of, techniques that I can use with my girls, and my staff and my relationship with my business partner. Those are all really challenging, and to be able to have a mom who's a psychologist and kind of understands people's thought processes and their issues, and, just kind of teaches you that a lot of things aren't personal, right? 95% of things aren't personal. It's somebody else's issue in life that they're going through, and to not really, take that on as your own issues. So kind of just help them work through it. So, that's really helpful to me.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the big ones that I find very helpful.
Who has a counselor that they can call any day at any time to help them?
I do.
MOM.
A small percentage of the population that, has that for us. So, it's really helpful.
Absolutely. And it sounds like she's there every step of the way.
Right? I can call her anytime. Seriously, she's not joking.
So, Aurora, then, what advice do you have for successful mothers who are raising daughters who may not be as successful as they are? Not that we're talking about Mariah, obviously, but, just in that kind of a case.
Well, I just think it's all about love, and that all of us, it felt to me like I came to a planet and I wasn't really seen as a little girl, and I wasn't nurtured. Nobody was seeing me and seeing my beauty, and giving me feedback and sharing with me anything about what I might do or who I might become or what they saw in me. And somehow I just feel grateful that I had that ability to be that way for my kids and my daughter. And I would say that to parents is that the one thing I needed and didn't have, so I had to figure it all out myself, and that I think is critical in parenting is to really see your child and let them know they're seen, to love them, absolutely. And you see the good, bad, and, the ugly. It's always, the people are always having issues, but to really let them know they're seen, they're believed in, and nurture those great qualities, mention them. Actually mention what you see that is beautiful. I remember I scored when I was third grade, top 3 percentile of the United States in whatever test we used to get every year, and in intelligence. I never got told that until years later. And it's I really think kids should get that admiration and respect from their parents, and acknowledgement and excitement about who they are and how much they're loved. And it doesn't really matter what that person does in life, What really matters is that they're actualizing who they really are and fulfilling themselves and being the best they can be.
Yeah, kind of what comes forward for me is celebrate every win, not just like the big wins or, like the awards and everything, but just celebrate everything.
Yeah, how loving they are, how kind they are. Like, I think Mariah probably wouldn't have noticed even that she does that with the girls and how extraordinary it is down over there at the kitchen. What's really going on there. I mean, the girls are learning how to save and then they start saving up and then they get a nice car and then they could save up and get a condo and they learn how all these things she teaches them, balancing checkbooks, all of these things. I don't think she would have really noticed because it's such a consuming industry that keeps you night and day. She works all day long and gets home at 10:30 at night. Had someone not stepped forward and said, wow, that's really extraordinary what you're doing, I think we as people really need that feedback. And it helps us see ourselves. Like Mariah was saying earlier, sometimes we're not seeing ourselves and an award can bring it to our attention. So I think for parents, praise and acknowledge your child for that she was loving, that she was good to her friend, that she, everything. The inner beauty is just as important as the outer, and the inner accomplishments are even way more important than the outer ones.
Yeah, and it sounds to me also acknowledging the process and where they are in the process, regardless of any outcomes, is just as important. Yeah,
just love. Just loving and believing in them and walking it with them.
So what about you, Mariah? What advice do you have for daughters growing up whose mothers are very accomplished, or just any thoughts about, stepping into their own power and creating a life for themselves?
Yeah, and to add to that question, it's like Aurora was able to see, all of the beauty and everything in you, but you had to claim it. And so can you give us some advice on how you went about, owning what Aurora saw in you?
It's hard. It's hard to see yourself. I think it's a skill. I think it's something that we all have to learn. I don't think that everybody sees themselves like, yeah, you kind of know what you do, but she's right in the fact that I don't look at my life and be like, oh, I'm helping all these people and they're turning out amazing. Like, I'm just kind of doing what I feel is best, or just kind of going with the flow. So I don't know. I think if you have a good support system, if you have a good mom that can support you just to help you see, like, yes, this is challenging, but look at what you have accomplished, or look at what you can achieve, or look at how well you handled that situation, as challenging as it is.
Well, and it sounds to me as well like there's so much benefit to having the support outside, but I think that part of it, at least in my experience, is accepting it for yourself and acknowledging yourself inside, because it's one thing to hear something outside, but it's another thing to accept it and move forward and know that truly is who you are, that you are accomplished, you are successful, and you have the ability to accomplish your own dreams.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to see it.
What helped you? Other than your mom.
I was going to say, besides mom.
Because I can really relate to how important a supportive parent is.
It's just hard to see it. I mean, you have to seriously take time and think about it. If you're having a rough day, just take 5 minutes or 10 minutes before you go to sleep, and good techniques are write them down. When you're going through something that's really challenging, and I just want to quit. Some days I just want to quit, right? But you wake up in the morning, you're like, no, I'm going to do this. But I mean, just taking 10 minutes and being like, okay, well, this is where I was. This is how I got here. These are my strengths. I think we tend to put ourselves down more than we give ourselves reassurance and praise. Well, I could be doing this and I should be doing that. And it's just, 10 minutes maybe writing it down and being like, okay, these are my accomplishments for today. these are my goals for tomorrow. Like I try to write things down, like this is what I want, and I'll make lists. And then one day I'll open my list and be like, oh my gosh, I accomplished all those things. But I think it was just more of writing it down and not thinking about them all the time. But once you write them down, I feel like they kind of just come to fruition. It's just a weird thing that happened.
Kind of putting it out into the universe.
Yeah, or you just mentioned to someone, like, well, this is what I need. Like, just recently, like, I needed a new general manager. So I told my mom, like, I need a general manager. And I started to write down all the things that I wanted them to do. I didn't post it anywhere. I just talked to my girlfriend, and I was like, I need a list of things like a general manager would do. And then not even a week later, I had a general manager who asked me, like, hey, maybe I could help you do some stuff. And I was like, all right. I'm like, where did you come from?
That's amazing. You manifested a person. And we'll be right back. We can talk more about how to manifest what you want to come. But when we come back, we're going to wrap up our discussion with Aurora and Mariah. And then we're also going to move into our segment, our favorite segment, 1 question, 3 responses. This is Communicating from the Heart, the empowered mother-daughter relationship. Remember, if you'd like us to respond to your questions, you can always email at info@heartcenteredlistening.com. We look forward to seeing you when we get back.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
At Heart-Centered Listening, we are committed to providing high-quality coaching, empowering you to reach a healthier and more fulfilling mother-daughter relationship. We have a consistent flow of coaching clients who sincerely want to heal and move toward a healthy, loving, and fulfilling mother and daughter relationship. We welcome you to share in the joys, sorrows, and experiences of one family's growth and learning. We support others in growing into love and support of oneself, so that you can show up in the loving way that you would like in your relationships with others. Get answers to the questions you've always wanted to ask. We promise to show up each day in our authenticity and always be honest in our responses. You can call Heart-Centered Listening at 310-301-1850 Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Or visit our website at heartcenteredlistening.com. Mother-daughter relationship coaching with Elizabeth Lutz. Isn't it time to open the door to your new relationship? heartcenteredlistening.com. Support, healing, transformation.
Change your world. Change your life. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are listening to Communicating from the Heart. We'd love to hear from you with any questions or comments you might have. Please send us an email to info@heartcenteredlistening.com. That's info@heartcenteredlistening.com. Now back to Communicating from the Heart, the empowered mother-daughter relationship.
Welcome back. I'm Elizabeth, along with Danielle and Melissa, and this is Communicating from the Heart, the empowered mother-daughter relationship. We were just kind of wrapping up our conversation with Mariah and Aurora. And before we say goodbye to our guest, I'd like to thank them both for joining us. It was so much fun, and we just really enjoyed everything that you both had to say. And like you said, you are both being nominated, and you're both just doing an awesome job. And I really want you to hear that, and I really want you to own it.
Yeah, and thanks for showing us just another way, another relationship, a loving mother-daughter relationships. We can always use more examples of that.
And it is so apparent that it is a loving, mutually supportive, encouraging, special relationship.
Yeah,
do you guys have anything to add?
So much. Okay. It's been incredibly joyous and fun. You are all so much fun. And again, it's just really wonderful to do it with you, Mariah. It just makes my heart so happy we could do this together.
Me too.
Aww.
Mariah, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, this is awesome.
Well, again, thank you very much for joining our show.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you very, very much.
Well, you know what I think I really learned from this, too, is it's wonderful to have such a beautiful, loving, supportive relationship. And I just really heard what Mariah said, and I agree with it so much. It's like, if you are one of those people that doesn't have this with a mother or a father, you can be your own mother or father. You can encourage yourself. You can support yourself and give yourself a pat on the back, and be the mom that you want to be for yourself. I feel like if I were to take anything away from this, that would be a main thing.
Yeah, and for me, one of the takeaways is just the like Aurora said, just to, when you're talking with someone, to also acknowledge the little things, not just the big, the prestigious award, but the acts of kindness and loving that Mariah shows to the people that work with her, and the supportiveness, to go above and beyond with these kind everyday gestures is spectacular.
Well, I think the key word that you said in there, for me, my biggest takeaway was just that it is all about support. And what I really heard in both of them sharing is they had this supportive nature through everything, thick and thin, all the way up. Like anytime there was a small problem or a concern, they were able to share it. They felt that support. And also how simple it actually is. It's a way of being. It's not an actual forceful doing, but just listening, supporting someone and being there for them. It's not coming up with answers for them. It's just supporting them in their own process.
And I could picture the whole family kind of helping with the menus. Yes. I thought that was so cool.
So what's our question for this week?
Okay, so we're going to move on to our segment called One Question, Three Responses. And here goes this week's question. It's from Cynthia, who's 46 and lives in Texas. And her question is, my daughter treats me so differently when we are in public versus when we're at home. She is sweet to me at home and ignores me in public. It really bothers me. What can I do? How can I get her to treat me with respect all of the time?
Oh, I want to start this one. Okay. And I start this from a point of being that girl, being that person that would tell my mom to drop me off a block away from school. That way people didn't see me getting dropped off by my mom.
She would kiss me goodbye, and then I'd act like, hey, get out of the car.
Yes, and I was. And I just, Cynthia, I just say, really, the biggest thing that I can say is in that moment, it had nothing to do with my mom. It had to do with my own insecurities about how other people saw me, how what my friends would think if, oh my gosh, you're kissing your mom on the cheek. That's crazy. And it really was nothing about my mom, because I kissed her on the cheek because I loved her. I just didn't want other people to see it because I was insecure. So it really is it's so simple. That doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. I can really appreciate that. But maybe coming to her and just letting her know, that kind of hurts me. And maybe just having that conversation, opening the door to that open, honest conversation. And she can speak to you about whatever is going on and why she's doing it. And maybe it'll just lend itself to an understanding that will really help you guys move through it.
Yeah, and in having that conversation, it's really important, I feel, to approach it in your loving and not as an againstness, like I think you're doing this wrong, but more, it hurts me when this happens, and this is how I feel. And along with that, too, what you were saying, Danielle, it's definitely, and kind of what Mariah was saying earlier, it's don't take it personally. It's not, it's most of the time it has nothing to do with you. And I would ask what was it like for you as a teenager? I don't know if you remember, but did you always want to be with your mom, or, and just, don't take it personally, and I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. And to add to that, I do agree not to take it personally, but when I first read this question, I thought, man, it could be the opposite. She could be mean to you at home and then sweet to you in public. And I got to thinking, which would be better? And I don't know which would be better, but I can say this, that you've created a beautiful environment where she can be her authentic self, her sweet self, you get to see the loving side of who she is. And that's why I feel when she's out in public, it's not really her authentic self. She's trying to be somebody else because of public opinion or peer pressure or something like that. So, Cynthia, I'm so excited that you've created a beautiful space for you and your daughter to be in that sweetness, because she is sweet at home and loving at home, and that's part of your creation. So, good job.
Well, and I think one thing that helped my mom and I survive that, and Melissa, I'm sure it's the same for you, but that open and honest communication, the talking about it, this has been a kind of a core quality that we've talked about, but that support of my mom. Like, I knew that she was always there. I knew that she always loved me. I knew that even as insecure as I was out there in the world, that it was safe at home. I could be myself, and that's why I was able to be my authentic self.
Yeah, it's almost like a testament to how comfortable she is at home, knowing that, I don't have to be nice here because she knows that I love her,
Not condoning that at all. I mean, it's always nice to be nice. Yeah, exactly. But we've been having so much fun on this episode. We had great guests, Aurora and Mariah, another special mother-daughter relationship that it was so interesting to hear what they had to say. We hardly noticed the time.
Yeah, and next episode, we would love to have you join us for our topic, which is things I want my mother to know about me. And I'm going to add in parentheses, and might be too afraid to say to her face.
Should I be there?
Although what's ironic about this is that even though we wished Mom would hear, by actually saying it, she's going to know it. So we're actually saying it.
Yeah, I know.
Be a different experience for us.
That's true.
And so if you're interested in coaching or workshops, please visit our website at www.heartcenteredlistening.com. And this is your ever appreciative co-hosts, Elizabeth, Danielle, and Melissa. And we look forward to talking with you again next week at 5 o'clock sharp. Have a safe and great week. And remember, you can have the relationship that you've always wanted.
Thank you for joining us this week on Communicating from the Heart. Please tune in for another edition with mother-daughter hosts Elizabeth Lutz, Danielle Schonecker, and Melissa Schonecker next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. We can't wait to share more with you next week.
The Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network.